people there, scientists and people running things, and there's actually 40 people that winter over and stay there for 6 months in the dark and cold. So, to get to the South Pole takes about 3 to 4 days. So here I started from New York, went to Los Angeles, then a 17-hour flight to Christchurch. As you'll see, that's where NSF has the clothing distribution center. It takes 7 hours from Christchurch to McMurdo, and then 7 hours from McMurdo to the South Pole. This is commercial all the way to here, but from here there's no commercial flights. It's all military flights that are run by the Air National Guard. And they don't have a schedule. Depends on the weather, depends on who's available, what they have to do. So you can spend a day or two here and a day or two here trying to catch a flight. Okay, to go to the South Pole, you have to be approved, okay? So I went in December of 2010, and the previous summer, I took more blood tests than you can imagine, okay? So there's all these forms. There's about 50 pages of these forms that my doctor and dentist had to fill out about all kinds of diseases. So finally on October 23rd, this email is to inform you that you are physically qualified for your summer deployment, okay? And I could go even again up to 2011, but okay. So this, you get to Christchurch and you go to the NSF clothing distribution. They give you a lot of good stuff. This jacket is very important. It's the best down jacket I've ever seen. These boots are really nice. They're made of cloth, but they have foam on the bottom and you never get cold. Okay, so once you're in Christchurch, you can get on to this transport that's actually run by the New York Air National Guard. It's a jet that will go to McMurdo, to the edge of Antarctica, and you pick up your little box of your box lunch for the trip, which is 7 hours. Okay, this is the first class accommodations that you fly. Okay, so jump seats on the side. There I am. Most of the area is taken up with equipment that's being gone down to the South Pole. It is very noisy. Okay, and I have to tell you, I should be an advertising for Bose headphones. They barely could make it I could listen to something, but they sort of worked. Okay, so we landed in McMurdo Station on the Antarctic. There's a frozen bay that you land on. So here we are coming in. And I spent a few days there because waiting for a flight to the pole. And you wait, and then finally you get onto the plane that goes to the pole. Notice it has skis, okay, so because we're going to go there. It's a propeller plane. Talk about noisy, this one's even more noisy. Okay, so here we are. This is the first class accommodation in the transport to the South Pole. Again, not so much equipment in this one, thank goodness, and so here we are sitting waiting. You see this cloth, this curtain here? That's the men's restroom. Behind this curtain is a funnel with a tube, and so you go in the funnel. There is a women's bathroom in the back, but I never went there. So. Okay, we were flying to the South Pole. It turned out that all of the South Pole is run on jet fuel. That's what all the electricity is made by burning jet fuel, and the heat is from jet fuel. And so all of the planes that go to the South Pole fill up as much as they can with jet fuel. Whatever they can when they get there, they dump into tanks that can be used for the power. In the middle of our flight, the pilot was told that the conditions had changed to the South Pole and we were too heavy to land. We could have gone back, but the other option is to get rid of some fuel. So there were two options the pilot said. One was there's a flap, we can open the flap and we can dump the fuel into the atmosphere. It just vaporizes, it's not a problem. But we don't like to do that because sometimes it doesn't come back, the flap. So the other thing is to just fly around for 3 or 4 hours. So that's what we did. We flew around for 3 or 4 hours. We were allowed to go into the, we were allowed to go into the cockpit and take pictures. So I got to see a lot of Antarctica with this. Okay, finally we land at the South Pole. And these are the kind of vehicles that are around the South Pole. They have these type of treads and big tires. This is my favorite. It's a snowmobile, but the snowmobiles typically come with a cart at the back that you can move things around. But even more, if one of these snowmobiles is coming by, you can thumb. So if you're walking, it's not, walking takes a while and it's not good. So you can thumb and usually get a ride. This was my room at the South Pole Station. This is really nice, don't you think? This is as good as some of the motel rooms I've been in. There's internet 2 hours a day, and so, but it was actually quite nice. And you can go outside, okay, if you bundle up, depending on the temperature, okay. You're certainly required to wear this jacket at all times, okay. And there are things to see. So this is the South Pole. So this is the geographic South Pole. It has a fancy thing. They make a new fancy thing every year. And the reason is because the pole moves by 10 meters every year because the ice is flowing. And so I don't have a good picture of it, but if you look along, you can see this row of poles that go back for quite a long time. Okay, anyway, this is the obligatory at the South Pole picture. Okay, so there's, let's get back to IceCube and trying to make a detector. So IceCube at the South Pole. So as I said, the